Start recording now. For everyone who I just gave a whole speech on the goddess energies, Parvati and Durga, I won't repeat it, but if you have questions, you can PM me and I'll give you another speech about it. We're going to begin with this movement, intuitive movement. This, you don't have to call this dance. You can stretch if you want to during this, whatever you want. But the idea is to help the energy to begin to move. So I'm going to put on the song. Let me know up or down with the volume. What's the volume, guys? Up or down?
Yeah, that's good.
This is okay? Okay, I'm gonna do my dancing over here. I'll see you when the song's over. Sarva Mangala Mangalie Shive Sarvata Sarike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Sarva Mangala Mangalie Shive Sarvata Sarike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Sarva Mangala Mangalie Shive Sarvata Sarike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya. Mangala Mangalie Shive Sarvata Sarike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Sarva Mangala Mangalie Shive Sarvata Sarike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya 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 Shivaya
Really good.
That helped me a lot. No, but you guys, but it took me about 40 seconds to feel better. Okay. And what's, I didn't actually realize, but Om Namah Shivaya is calling in for the masculine to be there. And so Wendy and I, before we started, we were talking for a few minutes about what was coming up for us personally. And there's a fucking lot, excuse my French. But one of the things that I personally have been feeling into is where is the justice? Where is the order? And these are masculine energies. Some of you know we're teaching the Tarot. And the Tarot and the first 4 cards in the Major Arcana are the Magician card, which is a masculine energy. That is the card where you are using the light, connecting to source, and beginning to call into manifestation what you want. It's, I like to think of it as the man has the semen and has the idea to create, right? The next card is the High Priestess, which the High Priestess represents passive receptivity, the void, the womb space, things before they come into creation. The next card is the Empress, which is the active feminine, gestating, creating, and sometimes creating very abundantly. And that's kind of where I've been lately, where I've just been like creating and creating and creating and creating. And good things and bad things. And I'm using that loosely. We have been creating a lot. And yet without the next card in the Tarot, which is the Emperor is the one who is king, and he looks over the creations and decides what can stay and what can go, what needs to stay, what needs to go, what's helpful to the kingdom and what's not helpful to the kingdom. And within myself, I'm experiencing a sense of like a lack of trust or connection to that energy and seeing it everywhere. So I love that the song brought in that worked for me. So I'm curious if anybody has any questions or would like to bring anything in that they'd like to have worked through or worked on today. Or Wendy and I can just start channeling and bringing things in too if there's nothing.
Can I speak?
Yes, please, Kay. Yes.
Hi. I feel a certain loss of direction at the moment, whereas I've been feeling a lot of clarity in the past about where I'm heading. And now I'm whilst I feel a lot more grounded, I also feel unsure about my whole should I do something else, and should I just branch out and go back to look for a steady source of income? Just really weird thoughts, like that's not where my heart is. But there's so much uncertainty, and people are looking for some sort of stability, just looking for stability anywhere. So kind of feeling, am I missing a trick? Should I be kind of looking for an anchor somewhere where there's more security? And it just feels wrong, but I'm still thinking about it. Does that make sense?
It does, and it feels very similar to how I've been feeling.
Right.
There's so much unknown right now. Where is the container? Where is the safety? Where can I put where's the solid ground
No.
I can stand on? Right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like contemplating going back to some sort of pointless office admin work, just to earn some money, because I'm not even sure I can go back to body work, and I'm no longer sure I can bring what I can do for my people back to them, because the place where I worked is probably going to be shutting down. I don't have my own premises. It's just the whole thing is well, I'm not the only one, absolutely not, and I'm just feeling not thrown by it, but destabilized. In a very calm way. I'm kind of like, oh well, should I just go here? Yeah, that's where I'm at.
It feels to me like we're talking about the same thing. There's no order. There's no sense of order. Wendy, got something?
Whenever I've been feeling that, it feels like a storm energy, hurricane, tornado, just very, a lot of power to that energy and a lot of momentum. And I feel this need to just weather the storm. It seems like this weird, it seems strangely creative at this moment, but at the same time, it's for me, it's feeling like getting close, like an opportunity to get close to some really difficult emotions that are coming up. And even though it feels like it's out there, it's being really stirred up in here. Does that make sense? And it doesn't feel like a time, personally, it just doesn't seem like building something right now while the storm is passing through. Like it feels like right now is just storm time. It's acknowledging the discomfort, acknowledging the intensity of emotions and combinations of emotions. I don't think I've felt this strongly, and some of them are really beautiful emotions. I'll see something, some really beautiful aspects of humanity, and I just have a really good cry, and then I feel better, and then I'll see something else or read something else, and feeling that shock and appall and just disgust, anger, rage. I'm not, I don't usually rage, but it's been kind of nice to just feel that, like the power of the rage feels so much better than the groundlessness feeling that you're describing. Like, or I don't know what to do, and then feel the rage. It just feels, it's a lot, but it doesn't, is this making any sense at all? It's not really going anywhere, but it feels like it's okay to be right where you are. And right now is, I don't know what to do, groundlessness, and getting close to that groundlessness feeling and that uncertainty. And the closer you know, and how it's affecting your body, how it's affecting your mood, how it's affecting the way you're thinking and the thoughts that are coming up, and kind of making enough space that it's all acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. I think we're all nodding, inside, outside. I'm definitely nodding. Kay, I'm curious if you're feeling and connecting to any rage or anger.
Oh, a few weeks ago I was raging on one of the sessions we had.
Yeah.
No, I've got none.
None.
No.
Okay.
But I did so much meditation, which is a novelty for me over the past month.
Yeah.
I feel completely calm. I feel like a new person.
Amazing.
The stuff we've done and the stuff I've done since, it kind of switched me over to a different mode.
Mm-hmm.
But which is lovely.
Yeah, that is lovely.
But I feel, so when I feel perturbed by stuff, I feel perturbed by it in a sad way, kind of, as opposed to raging, which I think is more productive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is everyone else feeling rage, or do you have any rage that you can connect to right now? Caitlin says yes. Yeah, is there some? Anita, is there rage there? Not so?
No, sadness more than rage.
All right, let's do a blend then. We're going to do a fun. I've never done this before. It's experimental. Is Ryan going to do it? I think Ryan might like it. Okay. So for those of you who have rage, I want to try a meditation that's kind of active, actually. So give yourself a little space in front of you in case you want to move your arms. And then we'll move into something for the sadness. Okay, try not to knock anything off my desk here. So for a moment, just close your eyes and see yourself in a space that's like a room that's white, and there's nothing in this room right now, and there's nothing that can be broken or hurt in this room. This is a imaginary space where we can begin to destroy things that we want to destroy. I think for a lot of people, anger and rage is kind of a difficult emotion because we don't know what to do with it, and we don't know how to work with it in a healthy way. And some of us give ourselves permission to be physical and break a glass, or, as Noah does, smash a printer. Some of us try to work with that internally, but sometimes it needs to come out in a physical way and in a vocal way. So I see that you're all muted. That's good. If you feel the energy that wants to come out of your throat when we're doing this and you want to yell, go for it. Okay? This is a perfect opportunity for that. So just in this white room, bring into your mind's eye, bring into this white room something that represents your rage. And this is a object that you can pick up and do something with. So you don't, if possible, don't bring like Donald Trump into this space, because that will actually have an impact on him and therefore be unkind, not be a great option. So bring in a symbol of something like, I'm going to bring in a police barricade that for me is a symbol of my rage. And so when you have a symbol, you can also hold in your hand something that you can use to express the anger. I'm going to take a hammer or like a big mallet, and I'm going to use my body right now to actually break the police barricade and move the anger that I have. You can also do whatever feels natural to you with this symbol. You can hold it. You can comfort this symbol. You can speak to it. But the important thing is to allow yourself to have a voice. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back, but take your time. Yeah. Underneath the anger for me is the grief. So let's work with that. So the image that's coming to me is of a hammock. Okay. I like hammocks because it feels like I'm being held. Okay, let's do this. So just visualizing yourself lying in a hammock. And on one side of the hammock is a tree that represents the healthy masculine energy. This energy that holds the container, that creates a sense of order, that is a good governor. And on the other side is the feminine that is loving and compassionate. And we are in between, in a place of balance in this hammock. And allow yourself to be rocked gently or not if you don't like to be rocked in a hammock. To be in this hammock. Feeling and finding within you the sadness and the grief. Allowing that energy to move, knowing that you are supported on both sides by masculine and feminine. Okay, coming back when you're ready. Take your time. I'm going to need to go back into the hammock, I think, later. I don't know why that image came, but it's pretty nice to feel supported and held up by both energy.
Such a beautiful image and really easy. It felt like being cradled.
Mm.
That was fantastic.
Good. Oh, well, Wendy and I were tuning into this energy like earlier this week. We're like, it's going to be fun and easy. Maybe not. Maybe it is what it is. Anybody else want to address anything in particular? Because if you're feeling it, I'm sure thousands and millions of other people are too.
Can I speak?
Yes.
Okay. For me, I think it really hit me that it seems like there's a lack of loving guidance, a universal lack of it. I don't
Mhm.
know why. And a lot of lack of forgiveness. And that's what's really been stirring up in me a lot lately. And I sense it with people walking. I can see it in their eyes. I can feel it in their presence. And I think it's very disturbing. It's disturbing for me because I feel like other people feel like that too. Maybe it's just me, but just the inconsistency of love and forgiveness.
Mhm.
Um, and that sits really heavy with me. So the hammock made me, it was a beautiful imagery because I felt the presence of both the divine masculine and feminine. And when I was in the hammock, I was actually, not only did I become grounded and feel the grounding love and the presence of those two energies, but I actually felt myself drawing in people and calling in people into my hammock,
Mhm.
because it just feels better that way. It feels better when there's a universal love and a universal forgiveness. And so my hammock was huge.
Yeah.
And it felt like a very safe place to explore with love and forgiveness.
Mhm.
So that's kind of
Awesome.
where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling that energy too. And I did some clearing this morning around feeling afraid that hate is stronger than love.
Mm, wow.
Because that's
It seems that way, doesn't it? Sometimes.
feels
Yeah.
that way sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fortunately not true, but feels that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm just feeling into what might be helpful right now. Well, this is unusual. I'm feeling the energy of the person who was killed, George Floyd. And I've been tuning into him ever since he died so that I could
Mm,
help understand why he did what he did. Well, and I don't mean why he died, like that he caused it in some way. Um, but my sense of things is that we choose our path. Um, I believe and hear from him, from what I'm hearing, is that he made a choice to be a martyr, to create a huge change on the planet, which my 3D self feels terrible about, that there had to be some kind of experience like this for people all over the world to wake up. Higher up, I get it. I get why people choose to die a certain way, why they choose to come in and be an activist. My daughter is a sixth grader. She's 12 and she's biracial. And I know this, I feel this to be true in my heart, that she has come in to really stir people up. When she's one of 4 kids in her grade who are biracial or Black. And she's already created an enormous stir in her school, telling the principal, telling people when people are using the N-word, exposing. It's amazing what she's done. She's only 12. So I know people do this. They come in on purpose to do these things. And so where I was with trying to connect with him was to understand, how can I be of service and honor you for what you have given, the life that you have given. And what I heard from him was that I can work on all the levels. So in a 3D level, my responsibility and my choice and my opportunity is to work through my own bias, my own limitations in thinking, and the ways that I just can't see, and own that and talk about it. Because for me, where the rubber meets the road is talking about it. I can have my own inner experience. I can really feel quite good about myself. But then the courageous part for me comes in talking about it with others and being open to receiving feedback about it. But on a high level, I can teach unity. I can talk about how the highest service that we can do on this entire planet is to love unconditionally. But there's a process from, one of my friends calls this lasagna. There's like a lasagna to consciousness. You got to work on the meat layer at the bottom. Then you can move up the layers of noodles and cheese to the top crunchy layer. You can't not work from the bottom up and from the bottom, from the top down. You can't ignore any part of yourself. So one thing that has been useful for me is to visualize the image of how this man died and see myself as every person in that image, and own it. So where in my life have I been George on the ground with somebody's knee on my neck, unable to breathe, powerless, helpless, being observed by people and nobody doing anything? I can easily identify those experiences. That's easy for most of us to identify how we have been victimized, how we have played into that or been in that position. And then there's the crowd that wants to help, doesn't know how to help, is afraid to put their own body into harm's way, is trying to use their voice, but the voice is ineffective, does nothing. And I think that's where a lot of us are right now. We're trying to move out of that crowd place where we see what's wrong, we know what's happening isn't okay, and yet we don't know how to fix it. And then there are the 3 police officers who are in power. They have the power. They could have stopped what happened. And yet they are like, somebody is king here and it's not me. Somebody's in charge and it's this person, this main police officer who was playing the perpetrator role. And then hardest of all is to understand within yourself how you have been holding someone else down. That is where the real painful work is for me. I'll speak for myself. The also challenging is looking at how we've been in the crowd and there's so many ways that we can rationalize. Well, if I had gone in there, I would have been shot. If I had gone in there, it wouldn't have helped. There's lots of things that we can imagine to excuse it. So my work has been to look at the entire picture and love all of it. That's the top layer of lasagna for me. It's to work from the meat, bottom meat layer. That's how I make lasagna anyway. I put meat on the bottom. To understand and love from the meat level, and then rise up to the top and try to see the big picture and understand, the whole thing. Everyone's playing a role here. Everyone is participating, and can I love all of it? That is not what I expected to say, but there you go. That's where I'm at now. Wendy, did you want to add anything?
In the last video we did on Friday, I don't know what it is.
Monday. I think it was Monday.
Monday. Then Monday. the last time you said something very similarly about how to identify yourself in each of the roles.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was just in our talk. And then, and I had this block where I was like, yes, definitely have been victimized, definitely have not felt the, like my voice is not heard, ineffective. And then I've definitely been in the I'm not in charge role. And it's really hard to admit or find that horror. It feels horrifying to be in that role as perpetrator. And I'm sure there are plenty of people just kind of who would say that I've hurt them, that I've, either consciously or unconsciously said something, done something that just caused incredible trauma. And it's hard to own that stuff. But I feel like the closer I get to that and see that it's not something outside of me, that it's that and unifying and coming together, which is what I'm really hoping is the result of this, kind of starts here. And if there's no place for that whole scene here,
Mm-hmm.
then how the heck are people going to recover and find their way, move their way through this to what's being created? So I feel like it's as uncomfortable as it is, the more I move towards that unifying, and then at least I can hold space for myself better. And and right now it feels like running a 4-minute mile. It's pretty impossible, like especially since I run about a 10-minute mile. And I was running, okay, not that bad, 8 to 10, depending on, but it's such a big, it feels just outside of the realm of possibility. But it feels like that's what's happening, is something impossible is kind of coming through. It's just, and it is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a saying, one of my mentors says this: healing is an inside job. And it's got to start within. So if you see any divisiveness or discord outside of you, or if there's an uncertainty outside of you, or any of that, is all happening inside. It's outside and inside. So I would like to do a forgiveness meditation for me. And you can join me with the Divine Mother, who is always watching and always present, and the energy of compassion and mercy. So just imagining yourself standing in a pillar of golden rose-colored light. Inviting in the presence of the Divine Mother in whatever form she wants to come to you. Can be a goddess image, can be a flower, crystal, or bird, anything. Doesn't matter. She can take any form. And feeling her sending you love. Allowing that love to wash through you, dissolving all sense of divide within yourself. Dissolving inner conflict, shame, dissolving all feeling powerless and all feeling that you haven't done enough, fear that you haven't done enough. Dissolving all fear that there is no king, there is no father, there is no order. Dissolving all feeling of that you're wandering and there's no sense of direction to go. Confusion. Dissolving the sadness. Breathing in her love and mercy. Forgiving yourself for any act of perpetration. Forgiving yourself for not acting. Allowing her energy to wash your eyes clean so that you can see that at all times we do the best we can. Sometimes we have so much fear that we can't act. Sometimes we lack the energy to take action. Allowing forgiveness to come in for those times. I'm hearing her voice saying to me, "You're doing okay." Your heart is good. You are a loving being. It's okay to fall down and to not know how to move forward. And you can ask for support anytime. Support just means a helping hand. It's not an energy that does for you. You have so much power and ability to create and help this planet. And support is readily available, like a hand under an elbow. I am here and with you. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes, coming back. How's everybody? That feel helpful? Yeah. These times kind of have my head feel like they're spinning in circles. Like, what do I look at? What do I do? It's important for me to stop. Anything, Wendy?
That was each little segment within that healing meditation felt so personal and also global at the same time. And so it was really nice. I was right there in what you were conjuring, kind of bringing up, and what it was stirring up in me. And it felt like this really nice, supportive. I loved what you said about support, not someone doing it for you. I think a lot of times I've gotten trapped and wanting, maybe it's because my favorite first stories in preschool were like Snow White and Cinderella, and someone to come and rescue me from this situation. I have a lot of that still. Like someone come. This is, and so it's instead that support is that you can do it, and the guidance and the and how nice it feels to realize it's me. I'm gonna do
I'm Prince Charming.
Yeah, I'm Prince Charming.
As it turns out. Yeah. Caitlin's leaving. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything? Yeah, Lucy?
Yeah, when we were doing that, I think I recognize, I'm somebody who watches, and I've been in situations where I've been too afraid to get involved. And while we were doing that, I just had this image of being in somebody coming towards me to hit me who was drunk, and actually, using their own momentum to take them to the ground and just go, no, that's not acceptable. But yeah, over the last week, I've had a huge anger and rage, which has given way to huge grief and sense of powerlessness. And there's a rally in Coventry on Sunday actually planned, so I'm probably going to go along to that and take Tom along. But just giving myself permission to take action and speak it and be seen to say, no, that's not okay. And that's been coming, but that's just what's struck me just now really strongly. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah, it sort of feels like a minefield in a lot of ways, this energy. Like, how do you act without offending anyone? It's really challenging.
Yeah.
It's like everything else for me, though. I'll feel it out with my heart. If it feels right in the heart, I have learned over trial and error that when I do that, good things come out of it, even if it's painful a little bit in the middle. I learn. So, well, Does anyone else want to share anything? That's quite a lot of things to move through actually today.
Thank you so much, Jamie. That was very lovely.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Kay. It's good to see you. Yeah. Okay. Well, Anita, I'll see you later. Everyone else, I'll see you in the book.
Yeah.